Okay, so to prepare your applique, you need your template with your design. You need the Fix, your applique fabrics. So I've got a little bit of white drill, just a scrap, a pattern one, and I also have my purple felt here. So the first thing you're going to do is work out how much Fix you need for each section. Now I might actually cut this for you just to avoid as much wastage as possible. But the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to get out the Fix. I'm going to put my template underneath. And the first bit I need is for my head of my little fat cat. And I'm just going to mark roughly a piece slightly bigger. Okay, so you can see I've done a line slightly bigger than my actual design for my head. So I'm going to have 3 different sections of applique. So I've got my head, I've got my eyes, and I've got my mouth. So I've got one piece. Next, I need a piece that will cover the mouth. So again, using just the edge and having a little border. I'm going to mark that. Cut out that piece. And then I have my eyes. So again, I'm just going to mark a piece that's going to be slightly bigger than what I need it for. So now with my pieces of Fix, I'm going to trace my shape onto the smooth side of the Fix. Remember, the rough side is the glue. Now if you're doing a letter, you need to actually do the letter back to front, because when you iron it on, you iron it onto the back first, and that needs to be back to front, so when you actually do your applique and iron it onto your base fabric, the letter will be the right way around. So that's my head. Next I'm going to do my mouth. And then I have my little eyes. Okay, so now I need to get my Fix pieces and my applique fabric, and remembering to avoid wastage, I want to find a spot like an edge to cut this out with. So that looks good to me. And I'm just going to cut it. I might get that out of the way. So it's a little bit bigger than my Fix. Because when I iron that on, now if you want, you could pin this down. I need a little edge to make sure none of that glue gets on the iron or on the ironing board. So I've got my purple. Next I've got my white little mouth. So you can, like I said before, you could pin this. So if you wanted to, you can pin it to your fabric. Oops. But you have to take your pins out before you iron it. Alright, so cutting that out a little bit bigger. Now this is drill, so it's got a right and wrong side. So when I iron it on, I need to make sure I'm ironing it onto the wrong side. And then I've got my eyes. So my eyes, I wanted to do a pattern fabric. So I've got this pattern fabric here. Again, I'm going to find an edge. But also, because I'm using a pattern, I just want to make sure, I kind of want it to go, see how you got this zigzag look? I want it to go, the eyes to be in the middle of that zigzag. So I reckon if I pop it there, that's good. Oops, I can't see on the video. Again, when I iron this on, I've got to make sure I put it on the wrong side. Alright, so let's go over to the iron. So I'm at the iron, I've got it on cotton. And I need to place my little Vlizo fix pieces, rough side facing down, onto the wrong side of the fabric. So I'm going to do that for all my pieces. Flip one. Remember with the drill, you have that little weave, so we've got to put it on that side. And felt, don't need to worry too much about that, which side you're putting it on. Just make sure you've got a little border of fabric. And then I can fold over my paper. Just making sure they stay in place. And give that an iron. Make sure your steam setting is off. When you're ironing, you don't want to steam the paper. We don't want to make it wet at all. Alright, so now I'm just going to check to see if it's glued. That feels like that's glued. That's glued. That's glued as well. So I can cut these out now. Okay, so I've cut out all my pieces now on that line. And then what I can do is peel off the backing. But before I do that, I'm going to get my base fabric, which is my black drill. I'll pop that down. I'll just pick off those bits of fluff. Now remember, our design has to sit within this box, okay, which we've marked on the wrong side. So I'm going to basically put it right in the middle, and that is going to help ensure that it is in that box. So what we're going to do is peel off the back. It can be a bit tricky to find the edge. And I can see it's got the glue there, which is awesome. Pop that in the middle. And then I'm going to also pop on my other sections as well. Peeling off that back. Now I've laid up my design. So I've got a base felt, and I've got my cotton drill mouth. And then I've got my little, this fabric is actually called cotton duck, but don't really need to know that, but I'm just telling you. My little eyes as well. So with my eyes, I'm going to kind of work out, okay, which way do I want them to go? Do I want them that way, or do I want them that way? They look a bit crazy, but that's alright, that's kind of the look I was going for. Just peeling off this last backing. I might not actually put my buttons on because I've used the fabric that way. I wanted my cat to look like it was given a bit of side eye. We'll see how we go. Alright, so I've got my design all organised. Pop my paper over and give that a really good iron. Sometimes you'll find the felt doesn't really want to stick. to your fabric, what you got to do there is just give it a chance for that glue to set before you try and peel it off. Because felt is a bit thicker, it takes a bit more heat to penetrate the fabric to get that glue nice and melted. Right, peel that back, check. Yeah, everything feels nice and stuck. And now I'm ready to stitch this in place.